Germantown is in the top 5% of most diverse places in America. Germantown's home price to income ratio is actually 7.9% lower than the Maryland average. In Germantown, your commute time can double depending on when you head out. Think Germantown's just a sleepy suburb where your social life goes to die? Hold on to your house keys because you're about to get schooled. I'm gonna bust some myths about living in Germantown. From secret foodie hotspots to mind-blowing commute hacks, we're pulling back the curtain on the real Germantown. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be wondering why you ever thought city living was all that. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where I dive into everything you need to know about Maryland real estate and the latest national trends. If you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop on all things Maryland real estate. All right, let's get started. Think Germantown is just another pricey DC suburb? You might be surprised to learn it's more affordable than you would expect. While the cost of living here isn't exactly cheap, it's a far cry from the wallet-draining reputation of some nearby areas. Let's break it down. Germantown's home price to income ratio is actually 7.9% lower than the Maryland average. That means your paycheck stretches a bit further here when it comes to housing. But what does that look like in real terms? Well, as of November 2024, the housing market here is pretty diverse, with something for just about every budget and lifestyle. Condos start around $200K, so there are great options if you're just getting started. If a townhome is more your style, those typically fall between $350,000 and $550,000, depending on size and location. And for those wanting extra space, single-family homes range from about $460,000, but can go up to over $1 million for those larger feature-packed properties. Germantown's market is solid and growing, so there's definitely a lot of variety here. But here's where it gets really interesting. Despite these lower housing costs, Germantown's overall cost of living is still considered high. The area gets an F grade for cost of living, which might seem confusing given that we just learned about housing prices. So what's the deal? Well, it's all relative. While Germantown might be pricey compared to national averages, it's actually a budget-friendly option for those wanting to live near Washington, D.C. When you look at places like Rockville, Potomac, and Bethesda, which are all nearby, Germantown starts to look like a bargain. All in all, Germantown offers a unique balance. It's not the cheapest place to live, but it provides relative affordability without sacrificing proximity to DC or quality of life. The area boasts a livability score of 80 out of 100, suggesting that residents find it a pretty good place to call home. But of course, affordability isn't just about housing costs. Another big factor in your overall expenses? Commuting. Let's take a look at what getting around from Germantown really looks like and how it might impact your bottom line. Picture this. In Germantown, your commute time can double depending on when you head out. Sounds intense, right? But don't write it off as a commuter's nightmare just yet. There's more to the story here. Let's be real. Commuting from Germantown can take time. During peak hours, the drive to Washington, D.C. can stretch to 60 minutes or more, which is definitely a commitment. But here's where it gets interesting. Leave during off-peak hours and that same trip can shrink to around 35 minutes. It's like experiencing two completely different cities depending on when you hit the road. Now you might be thinking, great Lily, but I can't control when I need to be at work. Fair point. That's where Germantown's public transportation options come into play. The MARC train service, for instance, offers a direct route to DC's Union Station. The ride takes about an hour, which might seem long, but here's the thing. Many residents actually prefer it to driving. Why? Because instead of being behind the steering wheel in frustration, they can use that time to catch up on work, answer emails, do a little research, go on social media, read, or just relax. But what if you're not headed to DC? Germantown's got you covered there too. The area is served by multiple county-run bus services that connect to various commercial and retail centers. This means you can often get where you need to go without even needing a car. Of course, we can't talk about commuting without mentioning traffic. I-270 is infamous for its congestion during rush hour. But here's something I remember from when I lived in Boise, which is right next to Germantown. This whole area has a bit of an ace up its sleeve. If you know which routes to take, you can dodge some of the worst traffic jams. Personally, I'd often rely on alternative routes like Great Seneca Highway during these peak times. It will make a big difference. So what's the real impact of commuting from Germantown? Well, it depends on how you look at it. While the commute times might be longer than some other suburbs, many residents find the trade-off worth it. They're willing to spend a bit more time traveling in exchange for more affordable housing and a higher quality of life. Looking ahead, there are plans in the works to improve both public transit options and road infrastructure. These changes aim to better accommodate Germantown's growing population and evolving commuting needs. In the end, commuting from Germantown isn't always a breeze, but it's far from the nightmare some people might imagine. With a bit of planning and flexibility, many residents find ways to make their commutes work for them, and their ability to adapt is just one of the many ways living in Germantown can shape your daily life. Speaking of which, let's talk about what there is to do when you're not commuting. You might be surprised at just how much this bedroom community has to offer. Picture this. You're teeing off at a high-tech driving range, then catching a world-class art exhibit, all without leaving your neighborhood. Sound impossible? Welcome to Germantown, where the term suburban living is getting a major makeover. Now I know what you're thinking. Germantown? Isn't it a boring place to live in Upper Montgomery County with nothing to do? Let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. This place is buzzing with activity, and I'm about to blow your mind with all the cool stuff happening here. First up, let's talk about the Maryland Soccerplex. This isn't just some field with a couple of goals. We're talking about 21 natural grass fields, 3 artificial turf fields, and 8 convertible basketball volleyball courts. It's like a sports lover's dream come true. I've seen families spend entire weekends here, bouncing from soccer games to volleyball matches. But maybe you're more of an arts and culture person. Well, hold on to your paintbrushes, because the Black Rock Center for the Arts is going to knock your socks off. This place is the real deal, offering all kinds of performances, exhibits, and community programs. Lots of other activities. And let me tell you, it's top-notch stuff. Now here's another one. Ever heard of Top Golf? It's this crazy cool place where you can practice your golf swing in a climate-controlled driving range while playing high-tech golf games. It's become the go-to spot for everything from date nights to corporate events. Trust me, even if you've never picked up a golf club in your entire life, like me, you'll have a blast here. But wait, there's more. I know I sound like an infomercial, but I promise this is all true. If you're into nature, you've got to check out Black Hill Regional Park. We're talking 2,000 acres of pure outdoor bliss. You can fish, swim, camp, hike, bike, you name it. And it's all centered around this beautiful little Seneca Lake. Here's the thing. Germantown isn't just about big attractions. It's got this whole vibrant local scene too. There's Butler's Orchard, where you can pick your own fruits and veggies, and the Lancaster County Dutch Market that's like a slice of Amish country right in the suburbs. I could go on and on about the Glenstone Museum, the Haunted Forest at Halloween, or the water parks that'll make your kids never want to leave. But I think you're starting to get the picture. Germantown isn't just a place to live. It's a place to really live, if you know what I mean. So next time someone tries to tell you that suburban life is boring, you just send them my way. I'll set them straight about what Germantown's really all about. Now, speaking of setting things straight, let's talk about another misconception about this awesome town. Imagine your typical suburban neighborhood. Got it? Okay, now throw that image right out the window, because Germantown isn't just defying expectations. It's setting a whole new standard for what suburban living can be. And it all starts with a surprising statistic that's changing everything. Here's the thing. Germantown is in the top 5% of most diverse places in America. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't your cookie cutter one-size-fits-all kind of suburb. It's a melting pot of cultures, backgrounds, and experiences. And let me tell you, that diversity is reshaping every aspect of life here. Let's talk about food for a second. Imagine strolling down the street and choosing between authentic Korean barbecue, Pennsylvania Dutch comfort food, or some of the finest sushi around. Take Yuraku, for example, a hidden gem tucked away in a strip mall. Don't let its unassuming location fool you. The sushi here is fabulous. Locals rave about it, with some saying the fish here are practically still swimming. That's just a typical day in Germantown, where the incredible diversity has turned this place into a true culinary wonderland. And it's not just about the food. Local businesses are thriving, catering to all these unique tastes and cultures. But it doesn't stop there. Remember how I mentioned all those cool events earlier? Well, the diversity in Germantown takes them to a whole new level. Take the annual Oktoberfest, for example. It's not just a generic beer fest. It's a full-on celebration of German heritage that brings the whole community together. Now, let's talk about the schools. I'm telling you, the impact of diversity here is huge. Many schools in Germantown offer programs that celebrate different cultures and languages. It's not just about learning math and science. Kids here are getting a real-world education in understanding and appreciating different perspectives. But here's where it gets really interesting. Living in a diverse community like Germantown doesn't just mean you have more food options or cool festivals to attend. It's changing the way people live their daily lives. It's promoting inclusivity, encouraging cultural exchange, and broadening people's understanding of the world. So what does all this mean for you if you're thinking about moving to Germantown? Well, it means you're not just buying a house. You're becoming part of a vibrant, dynamic community. You're giving yourself and your family the chance to experience a slice of the world right in your own neighborhood. In the end, Germantown's diversity isn't just a statistic. It's a game changer. It sets this place apart from other suburbs and makes it such a unique and exciting place to live. So next time someone tries to tell you that all suburbs are the same, just smile and tell them they clearly haven't been to Germantown. So we've busted some major myths about Germantown, haven't we? It's not just another expensive DC suburb. It's actually pretty affordable compared to its neighbors. And that commute, sure, it can be tough. But with some smart planning, it's totally manageable. You know, it's funny. We often think of suburbs as these boring cookie cutter places. But Germantown, it's proving that suburban living can be just as exciting and diverse as city life. Maybe it's time we all took a closer look at what suburban living really means in the year ahead. Trust me, you might be surprised at what you find. If you're planning to buy, sell, relocate, or invest in Germantown or the surrounding areas, reach out to me. My contact information is in the description box below. I'd be glad to assist you every step of the way. And before you go, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with what's going on in the Maryland real estate market. Until next time, and thanks again. Bye.